All right, we are now recording. We are at 83 people. You're right. They wait till they get that note, huh? You people, we've been doing this for 24 meetings at this point. You should know what time and where. I will not confirm or deny. Excellent. I don't know. Us country folk, we don't have those book learning habits. Time is melding together because my brain is mush. Yeah. All right. 87, Frank. What do you think?
87, Frank. What do you think?
How many more people do?
How many more people do?
Usually stay around the hundreds. That's
Yeah. I'm looking to see.
Close.
Olivia's not going to be here tonight, right?
I don't believe so.
And I'm not seeing Kate.
Not seeing Kate.
I'm not sure I'm seeing Steven yet. Ah,
Yeah,
there he is. I see
There
Steven.
he is. I see Steven.
Yeah, we have
getting
an echo from
we're
another
getting an
place.
echo from another place.
I will mute myself
I
shortly.
will mute myself shortly.
I think. Oh, they muted themselves.
Hey, Steven. Echo.
It's good now.
Good? We hit 90? 90's a good number? Not bad for the day before Thanksgiving break.
Yeah.
All right. I think you're first, right? Take it away.
I believe I am. Well, happy Tuesday. I guess basically a Friday, right?
It's almost exactly a Friday.
Yeah. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for coming. Today is going to be the first day of presentations. And before we hop into those, we have just some reminders, list of the upcoming workshops. We'll remind everyone about how presentations work. And since today there's only 4 presentations, we're just going to have them go through in this meeting. So in the future, we're going to kind of separate into 2 different tracks. Next slide. So upcoming workshops, as mentioned last time, these are after break. We have JSON Web Tokens and a deep dive into Telescope's architecture. So once we're all back, getting out of Thanksgiving mode, definitely check these out on the 2nd and the 9th. Next slide. There's no status update due this week. You can relax, and there'll just be attendance at the end of this meeting as usual. Next slide. Another reminder, the mid-year review is not part of your grade. The final review will be, that's where we're going to actually look at everything over the entire semester and give you your grade for the course. Take note of your mid-year reviews. I believe there's an issue where you can't see comments from the people who graded you. So if you're confused about your grade, reach out to your small group mentors and they will let you know what to do or where you can improve. So again, don't worry, it's not part of a grade, but you should take it as an indication of where we see you at. Next slide. Okay, would you like to go? We have your name, Professor, but
Either way.
sure. Okay, in that case,
Oops.
we
I'm
have...
trying to grab that
Okay. Oh yes, let's drop that in the chat. So we have 4 projects going today. We're going to have Yaks, then Venue, then Shell Tracker, and finish with Telescope. And since we're all here, you're all invited to watch and help evaluate these. So if you go to that link, which, thank you, Professor, is now posted in the WebEx chat, you can fill that out as you watch, and it's very, very brief. I mean, it all fits on this one section. Just kind of going through the rubric and giving your opinion on the presentation will help us grade. And this will be done for each presentation day for each project. Next slide. I just got a question in the chat. Can we rate ourselves? What would you say to that, Professor?
I would say we will count on you not rating yourselves. I think I know what those grades would be. I'm not sure they would be as useful. You're not required to rate. We do encourage you to rate because that allows you to have input into things that I may have missed, or that Professor Constantine may have missed, or the coordinators. So, there's a, our idea is if you guys are encouraged to, we're not going to require it. Maybe in another semester we'll require it. I try not to let it hurt. I don't try not to let your grades hurt somebody. So in general, the way it goes is I calculate the average, and then I look at my average versus your average, and unless I decide I agree, we take the higher of the two. So in general, you don't bring down somebody else's average. If I missed something, I will sometimes adjust my scores, but it's generally you get the better of either my score or the average score. All right.
Great. Very generous. Okay.
You guys are brutal sometimes, though.
Yeah, that's true. So just a reminder, the presentation of the rubric, which is posted now in the newly created resources channel on the server. So please check that out. This is what we expect in each presentation. So if any of those presentations going today don't address any of these, go ahead and click at them now. Pretty simple rubric. Ask us any questions in the server if you are confused about any of this at all. And lastly, next slide. Before we get into today's presentations, please, if you have not chosen a day for your project, please do so. Thank you to everyone who has already. We have only a few on December 1st, and looks like the 8th is filled. So please fill that out. And again, try not to choose the 11th unless you need to. Please do that by the end of the day today. And then after that, we'll start pestering everyone who hasn't to choose a spot. So discuss with your team, figure out a day that works with everyone, and fill in your project name. And with that, I think we are ready to start presentations.
Yeah, I'm just gonna, as we're kind of going. Oh, here we go. Okay. I mean, there's nothing. I think you said all of this.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna throw out one more thing. We're starting We're picking up presentations again on Tuesday. We have to do on average about 10 per day, or else we have to go into December. The last day of classes, and we're trying to reserve that in case of emergencies. So don't leave December 1st completely open. We do need to get that part of the schedule full, and if we can't, we're either going to have to go into the last day, and then we lose all of our buffer, right? Because 10 a day is tough. 2 tracks will probably make it doable. But just going first gives you a little bit of an advantage because we forget all the mistakes you made. So going early is a good thing. Anyway, just keep in mind that we do have to get through everybody. Today's password is why is that pop-up not coming up? Don't know why that does that. Well, today's password is Thanksgiving break.
Wes, it says your pop-up's already open. You might want to check your taskbar or something.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm surprised it's not showing up here, because it's supposed to be down. I had it all set up ahead of time so that I could just.
Yeah, it's running in your background, right? Oh, yeah, that's not how that works.
Yeah, it's just not coming up. Okay, so let's reload this and try again. You used your.
And we have nailed down the reason there are slow load times. Don't worry.
All right. Okay, now I've got it up here again. Let me just convert my thing so that's showing it. Nope, that's not the right one. This is the right one. I had this all set up, believe it or not, before class, well before class. All right, what we're going to have to do is this. We'll pop this out.
Maybe we'll just give you an option to take the image and throw it in a slide somewhere.
There we go. You should be able to see everything now, I think.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, so there you go. There's the things. Both ways of doing this. What we'll do in a few minutes is we'll actually start with our presentations. I think we're starting out, and you know, you're not required to be here. If you're not here, we ask that you work in your small groups, hopefully to get ready for getting here or get in some more commits or your normal schedule. There's nothing, you know, nothing different if you're not attending the presentation. But if you're attending the presentation, you know, please, we invite you to fill out the form. Thanksgiving break. Frank has it exactly right. The reason we're going with these 4 before Thanksgiving break is so that those of you who go after Thanksgiving break, especially new projects, have the opportunity to see things, see how it's actually done. I think we're going, what, Yaks?
Yes, Yaks, venue, shuttle tracker, telescope.
Okay, Yaks, venue, shuttle tracker, and telescope. I think Yaks is going
you share
first, and I share the screen on that one, right? So we're all set up to do that.
Yes, they want to embrace the end of slide beep.
Exactly. So when you guys are ready, I think we're probably at the point where I'm going to shut down this part of it. Let's see, how long are we? I should write down. So, venue people.
What's up?
If I want to give credit for people who view this part of the if I want to give 100% to people who view this part of the video, I set it for 13 minutes, or do I have to start up a new?
Yep. So when you're uploading the video, you have lecture.
There's a
Yeah,
lecture
because
time, yeah.
you link it through YouTube.
Yep.
Okay.
I can stop the recording now and start again if that makes
do
it
you?
easier.
I forget because I never go into that section. When you upload your video, does it ask you to put in a length?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then that length will determine the amount of time that they need to
watch.
Get 100. Yeah.
Okay, good. Then I will set it for 13 minutes, and you guys can watch through this point. 14 minutes as of now. So you will have to watch through 14 minutes to get credit. But if you're watching this on the video, you are done now. I still am going to encourage you to watch the presentations. I think they're great. At least they've always been great. I'm going to continue the recording, and I'll upload everything as soon as we're done. So yeah, we're going to record everything. You're all going to be famous. Okay, I am shutting down venue. I'm shutting down Submittee. hide this away. And we will, at this point, transition over to Yaks. Oops, no, we'll transition over to Spider. Anybody want to redo CS1? No takers. Okay. And Yaks is right there.
Hi, friends. You guys hear me?
You're coming through
Yes.
loud and clear. Excellent.
That's good. All right, so we're Yaks. We can go beep to the next slide. All right, so here's the team. Quite a small team this semester. So a lot of people, and we had a lot of great work this semester. So next slide, beep. All right, so Yaks, what is it? So if you guys don't know, we actually deployed a new version of Yaks called Yaks.n. Well, I guess I should start with what is Yaks. It's a course scheduler. You can find conflicts, explore sections, find prereqs, coreqs, explore courses, and a lot more things that aren't listed, but generally anything you want to do to register courses for this or the next semester. And then we are that URL. Beep, we'll go into more details. So what's new? We lost the constraint on XML and Ruby, so now we're fully on JavaScript and Python. A feat that we didn't think we'd be able to accomplish, but of course we did, because we have a awesome, amazing large team. And we pushed our alpha, well, I guess beta at this point, to originally to another URL, but then we decided that, you know what, we're going to go full steam ahead and push the production because of a constraint we had on the registrar not providing the old XML. So it basically accelerated our adoption, and already it seems like we've got great feedback. Obviously, we've got some constructive feedback as well, but we're super glad that the community is actually giving us a lot of issue requests and feature requests and bug reports, basically everything under the sun that we really expected and want for our initial release. So this is awesome. And it seems like we got a little bit of good feedback in Reddit, where people are saying that they're liking the new UI, and that, well, I didn't believe this, but people would actually look into the source. And I think this is from Milo, so I guess he appreciates that, that we're on Python and JavaScript. Let's go beep to the next slide. All right, so what's next? We're going to continue being responsive to everyone's issues, and I just want to take a moment to say thank you to everybody who took the time to experiment with the new Yaks and provide any bug reports or feature requests. And we are welcoming all feedback. So if you have literally any questions, any bug reports, anything you find, anything you want to be built, please report it in our GitHub, and we're definitely going to take a look at it. So already we've had a few issues opened up by the community, and it seems like we're interacting much better than we were in the past few semesters. So since we've detached, it's really now a matter of maturity. So I think within 2 or 3 production semesters, we're going to start trying to go to other universities. And if, you know, we keep up the speed that we're at right now, I think we're going to have a really bright future. So I'm really excited. And then obviously a few more development tools and production kind of ordeals that we haven't really had to hit until this semester. So a bunch of monitoring and telemetry and log aggregation and all the fun stuff that we want when we're going into prod. All right, yeah, beep, next slide. So how we work is we get all the issues that are coming from the community, and we push them into GitHub, and then we allocate them with specific priorities. And then all of the members on the team self-assign to those issues, and then obviously create those issues, create pull requests. And then we have some temporary deploys and some testing that does CI and CD on those. And then we have obviously the team review it. And then once we have two approval reviews, then we merge, and this is just how we do our things. And it seems like it's been working pretty well. I'm saying that for the team, so please feel free to correct me as we'll go through all the member contributions in just a second. So in terms of communication, we also have a Slack that's just for us. And then we have a bunch of support channels for Docker, Git, a bunch of development channels for environment-specific related issues. And then we have bi-weekly stand-ups. So Tuesday and Friday, everyone reports basically what they would be on status updates, but on Slack where everyone can see them, so everyone sees the updates from everybody else as well. And this is where we address blockers, PRs, and everything of that sort. All right, Beep, next slide. yeah, so here's some images that we have. Here's my semester, my next semester. So you can see we have tons of new features, some of which aren't even released yet to prod yet. We're going to get those up really soon. But yeah, this is generally how the new UI looks. Beep. I think we have more images. Yeah, beep. That's a quick gallery. Beep. And beep. Yes, thank you. We really appreciate it. Now we're going to go into member contributions where you'll see what everyone contributed. And I just want to say thank you, everyone, to the team. It's been super fun working with everybody, and everyone's been putting in really great work. And hopefully the community can see that as well. Hopefully, the whole RCOS community can see that. All right, beep, moving on.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, great. So yeah, I'm Venkat. This is my second semester of YACS. Second semester of RCOS, first semester of YACS. So pretty relatively new to front-end development. So that's kind of why I joined YACS. And so kind of what I've been working on with the team is really focused. I started out on some smaller issues, bringing a more updated, informative schedule conflict message whenever students try to add courses that had a bunch of conflicts. So kind of directing them to where the conflict was in their schedule. And then I started working on more important, higher priority issues. Specifically, there was an issue you could see on the right with our course listings. There was a bunch of random the visual padding was really inconsistent. It was fixed to like some random height. And so what I did was I integrated this dynamic library that essentially assessed the amount of visual padding that was needed for these course listings based on the attributes that we had displayed. And so you can see on the bottom right, that's kind of what the current YACS is using now. And it looks a lot cleaner now. And then aside from that, I started working on other issues and bugs as they came in, as Jacob mentioned, from feedback through the community. And then I even was able to discover this random issue that came about when I was actually scheduling my own courses. I saw in the bottom left, you can see, there's RCOS, but there was this random huge gap, and it was kind of we were kind of unsure why this was the case. And so what ended up happening was, the way the visual padding was working, there were these hidden courses because RCOS, almost all the attributes that we were storing were like the same. So that's why some of these courses were hidden, and thankfully we were able to solve this pretty quickly. But yeah, aside from this, right now I'm working on exporting the schedule as an image. This was an old feature of YACS that the old YACS used to have, and so we're trying to bring that back pretty soon, and it should be in ideally by the end of this week. So yeah, that's pretty much it from me. So yeah. Abe.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Nick. This was my first semester with YACS. I'm not much of a front-end guy, so in the beginning I was a little skeptical of how the semester would go. Luckily, the onboarding process was very smooth. Everybody was very helpful. The Slack was very helpful, so I was able to get right into it. This semester, the first thing I did was I fixed something that was on the main page with the course scheduler. Classes would be returned from the API that didn't have sections. So when you clicked one of the classes that didn't have a section, nothing would come up on the schedule. And that was a little confusing to like the average user. So I filtered out all courses that didn't have sections from the API to get rid of that potential confusion. I also added a breadcrumb navigation to the explore pages. So as you can see in the image, on the top left, you can see home, then explore, arts. So it allows for the user to have a little faster navigation. It's a little more intuitive. The old YACS had it, I believe, so that was another reason why we wanted to implement that. And then we also, I worked on a UI bug fix. There was some weird issue on course pages where one of the elements expanded beyond the width of the page. So I was able to fix that, and now currently I'm working on a database issue, and yeah, that's basically it for what I did for the semester so far. Beep.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Whitton. It's my first semester with Yax, and I'm kind of new to the front end. My primary task for this semester is doing the subject page, which it navigates from the explore page, and then for every subject, the courses will be displayed in 2 columns. And then I just add some bottoms for navigation between explore and courses. And I think the navigation bar did by Nick was really helpful. So I guess we can improve more on that. I also just refactor and clean up some code for explore page as well. In general, the Yax team is really helpful and really friendly. So it's also pretty good for the newcomers to join this project. And I'm currently looking to improve more UI design and fix some bugs on the subject page and explore page as well. Yeah, that's my contribution for this semester. Beep.
Hey everyone, I'm Ike. I've been on Yax for 2 semesters now, and this semester I mainly worked on adding the new course pages, which you can see a little screenshot there of at the bottom. Right now they're still pretty bare, but the main point of a course page, which as the name implies, to just have all the relevant information for a course, so those different prerequisite links, how many sections are open, and general description. In the future, we plan to add a lot of new features. If you guys have any good ideas for features you'd like to see on course pages, feel free to submit them to the GitHub, and we'd be happy to look at that. Apart from adding the course pages, I also added new routing for all of the individual Explore pages so that each major has its own individual route, as well as each course has its own individual route. I also did a bunch of just general speed up, removed a bunch of API calls in favor of using like a Vuex state management, and also did a bunch of speed up by just removing a bunch of old code that we had left in the code base. And apart from just code contributions, I've been on the project for a little bit longer. I did some code reviews and just tried to help out some of the new members whenever they had questions or ask any of that. Yeah, beep.
Hey everyone, I'm Joshua, and this is my 4th semester on Yax. So this semester I worked on, so this feature was the number of seats available, so showing the occupancy of each course and how many people are registered for each course section and each course. I also worked on saving the schedules for people who didn't create user accounts. So currently, you have to create a user account in order to have your schedule saved, but with this new update, you will be able to save your schedules without a user account. I also worked on end-to-end testing with Cypress, still working on that, and various GitHub Action workflows to help with our CI and CD. Beep.
I just realized I was muted. Can you guys hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, so my name is Richard. This is my first semester in Yax, first semester in RCOS, and I kind of regretted of not joining it earlier. I joined Yax because of the name Yax. I really like the platform, and I've been looking at Reddit and everyone's bashing on it. So I'm like, okay, let me see what's up. But the team otherwise was really good, really interesting, and I was able to hop in and do a lot of stuff without any hiccups. So what I've mainly worked on was the backend, same with Nick, but on the Nginx side, on the web containers. So I mainly implemented the SSL, which we didn't have previously, and we could, because of that, we could deploy that on the public servers. I also implemented some security counter measurements to attacks like cross-site scripting and clickjacking, but of course those pesky RPI sec people are still going to bug our system. So we got to work on that. And I try to improve the loading performance via gzip and that seemed to help a lot, especially for the mobile devices. Lastly, I worked on the SEO template for top hits in Google search, which is really good, but we still got to perfect it since it's an art form to perfect that and have the #1 hit, spot in Google search. So yeah, that's it for me. Beep.
Hi, I'm Escher, and this is my first semester in RCOS and my first semester with YAX. So the two main things I worked on this semester are the documentation and dark mode design. In the beginning, when I was trying to download and get YAX running on my computer, I ran into a lot of unexpected problems that nobody had really seen before. So I documented all of these issues and then put them into a troubleshooting and tips section in the documentation, just in case anyone in the future runs through that same issue. And then for the dark mode, I worked mostly in the dark CSS file, and I changed around border colors and the shade of blue that's being used on the website in dark mode, so there'd be a more positive user experience. And then I also did this using CSS variables, which I didn't know much about before, so that was really great to learn about all of that. And yeah, the team was super helpful with this. Beep.
Hi everyone, I'm Russia, and this is also my first semester with RCOS. And the team was really welcoming, and I'm really glad I joined YAX because the project and the meetings were all very structured and organized. And two of the features I worked on this semester were the addition of a cookie policy, and I also fixed the visibility of the brand name in dark mode, as you can see in the before and after pictures. And I'm currently working on other UI bugs. And yeah.
Hello everyone, my name is Zihao. So the major contributions I had this semester was basically some UI improvements on fixing the visual patterns for elements on pages in YAX, and also a consistent and configurable loading element that we can see on pages when data is being loaded. I have other two major aspects in progress. The first one would be the redirection to a custom error page when the chosen semester data is not available or when the database is not initialized. And the second one would be recommendation of similar level or relevant courses on the single specific course page that user is navigating on. Besides that, it would be code reviews and PRs and all the good stuff. Thank you. Beep.
All right. It looks like Charles isn't here, but he worked on some UI bugs and some designs that he shared with us. Beep, next slide.
Hi, everyone. This is also my first semester doing RCOS and first semester working with YAX. And I guess my task for the semester was integrating credits to YAX, which it hadn't been on before. So to do this, the first thing that I did was I added min and max credits to our database. And then once I had that going, I was able to integrate it, and so you could see it on the front end. So you can see this in three places now. Usually when you were looking at the scheduler, you would see a list of CRNs for the courses you were taking. And now you can actually see like a sum of how many credits you'll be taking for that semester. I also added it on individual course pages. So you'll see the name of the course, and then you'll see your credits underneath it. And then also on the Explore page, which is on the left side of Scheduler. So you can click that little eye and it'll bring up a little page for the course, and you can see the credits. And it also supports like range of credits for those thesis classes, or you can take it from like 1 to 16 credits. That's it.
Hello, my name is Shruti. I don't really have a slide because my work was limited to just like documentation and tutorials for like people who are just coming into Yaks and don't really know how like front end or back end works. So I was making tutorials on Dockers and Docker and so forth. And I'm also working on like opening issues or like features that I want to see on Yaks.
Awesome. And then I unfortunately worked on all the ugly issues. Well, not all of them, probably just the ugliest and most annoying ones. I don't know about that. Anyway, but some of the production fires put out some cache coverage issues, a DB connection issue that almost sent us offline. But generally, my job was basically just to keep the X servers online and keep the X moving. All right, yep, next slide. All right, so we have a small Yaks award. The Salmon Award goes out to Bencat, who deleted the most amount of code, so congratulations. And the Salad Award goes to Josh, or I guess it's shared. Okay, it looks like Bencat actually won both the Salmon and the Salad Awards, but co-chairs. All right. All right, next slide. All right, that's it. Sorry about going a little bit over, but yes, we will also have a test reward coming soon. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Yaks is one of our, I mean, as you kind of see them walking through this, Yaks is one of our bigger projects. So we kind of expected them to go a little bit over. You didn't, otherwise I would have called out a little bit more of a time thing. Do we have any questions for the Yaks team? It's always good when you guys do it because I have some always. If you guys do it, you can ask nice ones. All right, so it's my turn then. Well, the first thing I want to say is I like the way you guys have embraced two different things. One is you have new students every semester joining Yaks. If I counted, it was like 5 or 6 this semester. So this one goes out to those new students. What did you find? Everybody said that it was a good project to work with. What was the one thing you found most helpful in the Yaks community that helped you come up to speed?
I guess I can answer this one. So coming into such a large project with already so much existing code and having to add on things, it can get kind of intimidating understanding people's code, like especially for me because I had no experience with front end. And everybody was always very willing and helpful if I was confused on existing code, which was really great.
I guess I want to add on something on this. So I'm also new to front end, but our team members are really helpful, and then we have set up like pairs. So like maybe an older member kind of help me get through like the large features that requires a lot of work. Also after that we will have write a lot of reviews and then so give some like constructive feedback on the pull request we just made. Yeah, so I think it's pretty friendly to the newcomers. Yeah.
Cool. Anything else anyone want to throw in? All right, I'm going to throw out one more question. One of the things that I took notice of was testing and GitHub Actions. Testing is really important to an open source project just because if you have people using your code, letting them see, one, good examples of how it works, and two, that it actually is working is pretty important. So I'm not sure if this is a question or a suggestion, but we want to make sure that this becomes something that kind of permeates the RCOS kind of psyche. So we need to keep promoting this. We need to keep pushing this. We need to keep doing workshops on this type of thing. So just keep that in mind. You guys are doing a good job with that part. Any specific insights that you guys have based on your testing? I think I ask you guys every semester about the testing.
Yeah, I guess I could plug in. And one of the issues where we were changing the schema for, I think, course credits, we hit an issue with one of the tests, and that allowed us to be responsive without introducing a bug into prod. So that was a good point.
Cool. I also like the idea that you guys have an award for the most lines of code deleted. Everybody likes to count lines of code added. Nobody likes to count lines of code deleted, but sometimes what you delete is far more important than what you add in. When you're refactoring code, doing new design, getting rid of the old crust, the crufty stuff is very important. All right, anything else? Ethan will apparently model his Hacktoberfest shirt after Thanksgiving. Maybe. All right. Let's see. The next one was what? Was it Shuttle Tracker or Venue? Venue, right? Shuttle Tracker. Okay. Are you presenting yourself, or am I presenting for you?
I can go with. You can present. That's fine.
It's up to you.
I'm realizing now that we have just as many contributors as Yaks, and we're probably gonna go maybe.
Okay.
The only reason I was going to present was to do a demo like I did previously when I took RCOS, but probably not enough time for that.
All right. I mean, we can always cut to that. Let me know. Go through the slides, and when you're done,
yeah.
we'll get better. We'll get a better visual in the movie if I present the slides. But if you want to show something, that also works. It's just that it's not as good coming from WebEx.
Yeah, no, you can present. That's fine.
Okay, cool. Well, go ahead.
All right. Well, we are Venue, trying to gauge engagement in courses nowadays. Now that we're all asynchronous and synchronous and whatnot. My name is Ethan. We've got the team down there as well. Beep, I guess. So I have been working I've been taking RCOS for, I've been involved, let's say, for probably 3 to 4 semesters now. Lost track of time. Time is meaningless. But specifically on Venue, I've only been working on Venue in RCOS. You guys probably remember the really old version where you had to take a picture of yourself in class, and it was a little weird, a little wonky. It wasn't really working. So fixed that. Things that I've done, there's been a little too much this semester that I've been doing. We've got the desktop QR scanning. We've got various integrations with video platforms, some TA managerial functionality, general usability things people might want to use. Additionally, I've been handling the the project organization for us. I was the only one who had worked on Venue previous to this semester. So everyone else is new here. So I was like, all right, we got to really organize this. We got to get everything focused down. To do that, we've been using Trello. Obviously, we've been using GitHub. That's just a de facto. But yeah, everyone should use Trello. It's good. We organized the project into a couple different sections to welcome newcomers and some people with a little bit more experience. So we organized each task in Trello into things like front end, back end, client side, and server side. Those are 4 different distinctions that I wanted to make because you can do some back end coding on the client side. Depends on how you conceptualize it. And we also organize things into config and miscellaneous. Those would be things that are like, oh, we need to change our view config, or hey, we need to do some managerial things like working on a GitHub wiki, that sort of thing. Additionally, we've been doing some outreach with other professors, and we're currently undergoing usability testing with the HCI department. A friend of mine who worked on Venue way back is actually doing that for us, so that's super helpful. Yeah, and I've just been helping around, making sure all the new contributors, everyone's doing okay, any help needed, that sort of thing. Yeah, beep, I guess.
Hi, my name is Jen. This is my second semester in RCOS and my first semester on Venue. So I'm going to be talking about my first feature, and that is on open enrollment. I worked on this with Chang, and I mainly worked on the back end and server side of this feature. So for this feature, I basically worked on allowing courses to be public and private, or certain course sections to be public or private. So originally, when I did the course, I had it modeled out very similar to the way I had the section, but then we decided it wasn't worth it. So instead, there's not any additional attributes in the course model, but we actually added two different methods in the course route. One, toggle all sections public, which will turn all the course sections public, and toggle all the sections private, which will turn all the course sections private. And then on the section, I created an attribute in the model called is public. Right now it defaults to false, so it defaults to private, and a professor can turn it on if it's to public. And I also worked on a method called toggle open enrollment, and that will turn the section public or private depending on what its current status is. So if you click the checkbox, it turns it public, and if you unclick the checkbox, it turns it private. Beep, next slide. So I also worked on engagement. So right now I mainly have been working on the file part. So I've been working on a feature that allows instructors to share and upload non-lecture recording and non-video files to their lectures. I added a file selector that allows the professors to upload their files in the lecture upload page, and I created methods that allowed these files to be uploaded to AWS. I also changed some of the methods that currently existed to distinguish between file uploads and recording uploads, so they wouldn't get sent to the wrong bucket. So all the files get sent to Venue attachments, and all the recordings get sent to Venue recordings. And currently in the future, I'm hoping to add the ability for instructors to add and share external links, and for instructors to upload and share files to the courses and specific sections. Next slide.
My name is Yo. This is my third semester with RCOS and first semester with Venue. I worked on the back end this semester. The first issue I worked on this semester was using email instead of ID values when referencing users. For courses and sections, this necessitated changing how the user was stored in the respective models, rewriting routes to work using emails instead of IDs where the users were referenced. The routes and models changed can be found on the left. Since emails were modified to be unique recently, this allows for a feature improvement where courses and sections can store users that have not been created yet. During this, I also discovered and fixed bugs in the backend and poor implementation of routes. Beep. Additionally, I worked on adding organizations to the backend, which involved modifying existing routes and changing new models and routes, which can be found on the left. I also cross-referenced organizations with courses and users, changing various other routes and models, which can be found on the right. Beep.
All right, yeah. Hi, my name is Mindy, and this is my first time doing Venue and RCOS in general. So as a newcomer, the whole Venue team was actually very helpful and organized and responsive on our Discord. And so for my part, I worked alongside with Zin on the course settings page, as well as a course overview page, which she'll get into later. For me, I worked both front end and back end sides of things. And so this part is mainly just for instructors and TAs to see, but overall, I updated the course model and then added a few features that allow the instructors to change some of the course settings. So like a snooze time for notifications, a default meeting URL, and all of the instructors can set or add and delete lecture times. And then, so for this, I wrote a couple of functions and added the necessary routes. So as soon as you click that update button at the end of the edit course page, all of the new information should be saved and displayed. Next slide, please.
Hi everyone, my name is Zin. This is also my first semester in RCOS, and I'm pretty new to CS in general, but everyone in the team was very patient and helpful throughout the whole process, and I definitely learned a lot, particularly more of the front end stuff. So based on the course settings page, Mindy and I are also working on a course overview page that will allow students to see basic course information that was set by the instructors. This includes the instructor names, lecture times, meeting URLs, and a link to the course syllabus. And there will also be a section for instructors to post new announcements, and students will be able to view them in a collapsible format. These are just placeholder values for now, and we still have some back-end work to do to get the announcements to save and post properly, but hopefully that will come soon. Next slide.
Hi, I was muted. My name is Samantha, and I worked on routing the statistics graph to show up directly from the course pages, so you don't have to click the button and manually input all your data. So as you can see from the GIF, I added the button that allows you to go directly to the statistics page. We used to have a statistics header right at the top of the nav bar, but now that has become obsolete. If you're an instructor, you get to have the data auto-filled into the course, whereas if you're a TA, you get to see your sections auto-filled, which is why you don't see sections auto-filled in this GIF, because this is just for instructors only. The problem is, as you can see from the code below, this is for course only, and the way it's set up is to do section routing. It would be a lot more difficult to get that all set up just the way that statistics works, and because statistics does not calculate the correct attendance data in the first place, it was just easier to set up section routing for when we overhaul that backend and fix that at a later date. Also, as you can see in the code, just to explain what this does a little bit, so the way that view works is that there's a 1-tick delay between recognizing and displaying the data change in the view lifecycle. So in this next tick function, you can see that this is where it's waiting for changes to be displayed, and you can set up all of your display values and where values come from and all of that stuff. Beep.
Hi, hello everyone. My name is Jack. This is my first year in RCOS, so hence my first year in with Venue. So what I accomplished adding to Venue is a modularized dropdown system where I created a separate component for the dropdown, and I was able to reduce the density of HTML in the main navbar file. Furthermore, I was able to add a multi-level dropdown functionality to the current dropdown system. So current dropdown system now able to host nested dropdown items. When the nested level only shows when the parent level is hovered, is active and hovered. Currently, only the instructor dropdown has this needs this feature, so it's only available for instructors right now. But it could be expanded onto other dropdowns as well. Beep. What I'm currently working on is a snooze feature similar to that of WebEx meetings, where if a user log in and their lecture is about to start, you have a meeting reminder on the lower right-hand side that allow you to join or snooze the lecture. So right now, the feature. So right now, this is on my feature is only available on my local development platform. So you're able to drop that box, and that box is filled up with relevant detail. But I in the future I need to add like more CSS and logic to it. And Beep.
Hi, I'm Min Kong. This is my first year in Venue, and I'm mainly working on front end and usability stuff. So the first thing I did is the UML diagram, which is shown here. It shows the Venue's data structure, like course, links to user and section, lecture, and stuff. Right now it's not in Venue because we don't have an info page to put in, but I may work on it soon. Beep. So this is the second thing I worked on is section multi-select. So in the instructor course page, you can originally you have a section select system with all and section 1, 2, 3, etc. Now you can multi-select the sections in this, allowing you to choose like 2 sections and see all of those. And I also fixed the multi-select drop-down widget so that it's more user-friendly. It now closes if you choose all of it or the maximum number of it. And then, yeah, beep. So I also worked on dashboard. So I was using Venue for a little bit, and I found like it only showing like 2 lectures, quite annoying to use. So I added this feature. So if you click on the title of each sections, it will expand to the full screen, so you can see so you can see all of the lectures showing up on the screen. I'm planning to work on a lecture filter system. So if you choose a course, it can show only lectures from the set course in the dashboard. Yeah, next. Sorry. So I did some UI stuff, mainly fixing. I fixed a lot of stuff. Like first I fixed the expanding lecture pill from the mobile mode. Originally it transforms kind of weirdly, like it shakes, and I fixed that, and I added so I made the border, which signifies if the lecture is as synchronous or asynchronous. Now it changes the border size with the lecture pill as well. And I did some others UI usability changes, like the copy link now has a success message, and the user setting now has the underscore properly aligned. And finally, donate to Venue because Venue deserves it. Thank you. Next.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
So this semester, my name is Chang Bin, and this semester I worked with Jen on open enrollment. So that includes implementing a feature that will allow instructors to turn all course sections to be either public or private. And I also worked on a new route that will allow students to join a section with a link given out by the instructor. I think all of you guys tried it earlier in the semester with the bonus session sections, so I'm glad it works. And I'm currently implementing a notification system for Venue. So that includes a new notification database model, new routes, and I'm pretty much done with the backend work now. So I just have front end stuff to go. Beep.
Hi, my name is Donna. This is my first semester working with Venue. So I worked on Venue's color palettes and making them 508 compliant. So first we have the new default red and blue colors, as well as the slightly updated logo that shows these updated colors. So we chose a deeper toned colors to replace the original bright ones. We also updated the shadows and made other tweaks here and there throughout the site. So we also decided to change the background and all other areas from the original plain white to this nice faint light blue color that we thought better fit the site as the new look. So I also created new themed lecture pills for a potential user selectable site color scheme that we're hoping to implement sometime in the future. Beep.
So, I'm Brody, and I'm going to talk about what I've done to make dark mode possible. And what I did is I rewrote a lot of the CSS that the website had, and I wrote an entire API dedicated to just the CSS color properties. So now they all live in a centralized location, and they're all documented as what color they are and what they actually get displayed on. So now if you want to change a color in Venue, you can just go in, you can look up the name of the variable in the notes, and you can see, okay, so this is this color, and this colors, you know, these specific things on the website. So as Donna said, in the future, we are planning on making a couple more palettes that the user can select. And very far off in the future, we are planning on making it so you can pick your own palette, but that's for a different day. Beep. So some other things I've done instead of the palette stuff is for the instructors, this is going to be especially helpful. When you're going to set your lecture time, we've been informed that our picker that we were using, that we just pulled somewhere off of GitHub, was very unuser friendly and very hard to use because you could scroll over it and the default year was negative infinity all the way up to max infinity. So you could just like keep going forever. And if you scheduled a lecture for 2083, well, that was a possible thing you could do in the past that you can no longer do now. So now we have the picker set up. So if you click the title of the header, you can just type in the value you want it to be. You can click any square on the calendar and that appropriate column will get set to that value. The arrow buttons still work and the scrolling still works, but now we have those new features that make it a lot easier than it was before. And also I've written a script for our devs so you can go in and you can set the IP to be the IP of your computer, and then you can connect to it and see how your new feature is going to look on your phone, because that's something we struggle with in the past is we make it and it looks great on the computer and then you go to load it on your phone and it gets smushed, and that would be a nice thing to know ahead of time. Beep.
Yeah, since we're getting a little long here, I won't really talk about the overall overarching future plans. But yeah, there's a lot, and I'd like to thank all of our venue contributors. Also, shout out to Asia. She's been working on some SVGs. Not necessarily taking it for credit. She has something else to do right now, but wanted to shout her out there. Yeah, that's what we got. We were going to do a demo, but we're a little over. We need other people to present as well. Yeah, we don't need to do that.
Okay. So let's see. The next one is Shuttle Tracker, I think. Are you guys presenting live or am I presenting for you?
We'll be presenting.
Okay. So while they're getting set up, and I'm turning it over to them, Sean, it's gonna be your screen.
I believe it'll be Derek's screen.
Okay. So one of the things that I liked about what you guys were doing on Venue, was you were doing usability studies. Oops, I just pasted it to Sean. You were doing usability. There we go. You were doing usability studies on using a former Venue contributor to do usability studies. You guys want to talk a little bit about that? What were you getting out of that, and how are you managing the suggestions?
Yeah. So I don't, Wes, I don't know if you remember him by name or if anyone else here in RCOS remembers him. Noah Deal. He's taking the second level of HCI. He was like, hey, we might as well use Venue because, it was doing good and he knew I was working on it and it looked pretty good. So he was like, okay. Basically, the overall process, he we set up a little demo for him so that the people running the study knew, all the questions that they needed to get a usability script done. And we just had to make sure that the site was in a usable spot where the site wouldn't crash, which is why I did the client-side video uploads. But also we needed to make sure that at the end of each testing session, there are 3 iterations, each a week long, that they give us some usability report, like, hey, here's where people were struggling, here's where people did really well, and then we'll have essentially a weekend or a week, depending on how important those fixes need to be. And then we'll hold off each production build until the end of the usability testing iteration, so that then the testing iteration itself remains constant.
Cool. All right. Any other questions for Ethan? Otherwise, I think we're set up for Derek, and I believe I'm recording you. We will see. All right, thank you, Ethan. Go ahead, Derek and Sean, or however you guys want to do it. I am not hearing you.
Derek, you there, buddy? Okay, I think Derek's having some difficulties, so I can start the presentation.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Sean Heffernan.
We got an
you can hear
my
me.
mic. We can hear you. We got an my mic from Derek.
Okay, so I'm Sean Heffernan. I'm one of the 2 project managers for Shuttle Tracker. Derek is the other project manager. Can you go to the next slide, please? So a quick introduction for Shuttle Tracker. It is a web application that is currently being managed by the Web Technologies Group, a committee of the Student Senate. It is written in Go, Vue, and TypeScript and uses a Postgres database. The current rewrite started in 2015 and includes many different features such as an admin panel, the bus button feature that we all know and love, public data API endpoints for other people who want to use our tracking, as well as a settings panel with various features such as route toggling and a new dark theme. Next slide, please. So as far as project organization goes, our primary method of communication was through our Discord server. We've had this Discord server since the previous summer, actually spring, sorry, when everything moved to an online semester. We use GitHub as our primary repository, and the way our project is structured is we have everyone divided into various sub-teams. So this semester we had 3 sub-teams focusing on specific areas of development, including the smooth tracking team, the Flutter team, and the feedback form team. We also had an issue tracker that included people, which allowed for people to put any features they might want to request in the future, along with any bugs. And we also had a text channel in our Discord server for, again, any feature requests or bug reports. And finally, we had a wiki on our repo that is constantly updated to provide installation instructions and bug fixes, because Shuttle Tracker is notoriously difficult to install for new users. Next slide, please. So here are our team members. The project managers, like I said, are Derek and myself. On the smooth tracking team, we have Matt, Tabitha, and Justin. And then on the Flutter team, we have Sam and Rithik. And with the feedback form, we have Peter. Next slide, please. So going into a bit of detail about what's new this semester, we have updated our routes to accommodate the pandemic and parking and transportation's requests. We also have a new shuttle sliding feature, which is currently usable on the base version of our application. There's also various updates for smooth tracking, the feedback form, as well as our mobile application. Next slide, please. So going into a bit of detail about our shuttle routes, our routes have been updated to accommodate changes from parking and transportation. There was a lot of streamlining of routes to include less stops during the pandemic. We also added a new stop at the Armory in the last month to allow for the COVID testing. And finally, we updated the route overlapping. Previously, when you would have multiple routes displayed on the shuttle tracker, there was the potential for routes with wider widths to cover other routes. So we updated it so that the widest routes are now displayed on the bottom, so you can see up to 4 routes stacked on top of each other. Hopefully, your shuttle tracker will not look as clustered as this image here, but this is just an example of how it all works. And now I will hand it over to Matt, who will talk about his shuttle slide feature.
Hey guys, my name is Matt, and this semester I developed a new front-end feature that I call shuttle sliding. This feature basically animates the process of a shuttle moving to a new location. As you can see in the video on the right, there's now a smooth animation that plays whenever a shuttle receives a new update. This feature has been completely implemented and tested, and if you want to go check it out, it's now live on the shuttle tracker. You can enable it in the settings panel if you want to see it live and in action. The main challenge of this feature was developing the algorithm to determine the path the shuttle should take to get to its destination. How the algorithm generally works is you first calculate the closest point on the route to the marker's current location and the closest point on the route to the shuttle's destination. After that, you chop up the route into segments from the starting point to the ending point and determine the path the shuttle should take to get from point A to point B. The transition times are then calculated for each segment as a ratio of the length of the segment to the total length of the path the shuttle will move across, and that determines how much time each transition should take across segments. And finally, the shuttle will slide across each route segment, and its heading will be recalculated after each segment based on the angles of the points the shuttle is traveling over on the route. Next slide, please. The other thing that I've been working on this semester is overseeing the continued development of the smooth tracking feature. This is a feature that I started developing last spring, which uses a prediction algorithm to make approximations of shuttle positions every second. Those predicted locations are then displayed on the tracker, and it can give the user an idea of where shuttles are in between the reception of actual shuttle location updates. Prior to this semester, there was a basic prediction algorithm implemented that took into account the shuttle's velocity and the time that had elapsed since the last update. The prediction manager, which is the part that handles scheduling and creating shuttle predictions and delivering them to subscribers, was also completed. And there was a simple prediction accuracy metric implemented that gave you a really basic idea of how accurate the predictions are. The goal of this semester was twofold. First off, to improve the prediction algorithm by accounting for more factors than just the velocity and the time, and also to implement a more robust accuracy metric so we can ensure that the work we're doing on the algorithm is actually resulting in improvements. Like I said, my contribution was mainly just oversight and overseeing the development that had been done by Tabitha and Justin and helping out wherever necessary. Now I'm going to pass it off to Tabitha and Justin to talk about the work they've done in the future.
Hey guys, I'm Tabitha, second semester in RCOS, second semester with Shuttle Tracker. I improved the prediction algorithm by helping it to take into account shuttle stop. So previously, the prediction algorithm just used the velocity from the latest update and the amount of time since the update. But obviously, if a shuttle is approaching a stop and it's close enough, it's going to start to slow down and the velocity is going to go down. So I integrated positive and negative acceleration into the prediction algorithm, depending on whether the shuttle was approaching a stop or departing from a stop. Using pretty simple kinematic equations from Physics 1. In order to do this, I had to make pretty educated guesses about some values like, for example, the acceleration of a shuttle from a standstill, the distance a shuttle is away from a stop when it stops slowing down, things like that. And so these are values that can be changed and adjusted to create a more accurate prediction algorithm. And going forward, going to continue to make these adjustments and continue testing and perhaps adding more complexity and more variables to the prediction algorithm. Justin?
Yeah, I guess my turn. So, hey guys, I'm Justin. It's my second semester on RCOS. And so I've done a few things. One of the first is debug mode, which basically just aggregates the margin of error for each predicted location and its actual location. And I implemented this so that we could roughly gauge how effective our changes actually were. And after implementing that, I went on to work on turning at intersections. And so the basic gist of how it works is once it detects a sharp turn, it just adjusts the predicted distance to accommodate that turn to slow it down. And so it's working on the idea that when I run the shuttle tracker, it never actually drops below 6 miles per hour. So I'm just using 6 miles per hour as a baseline, but we could change in the future. And after working on that, I moved on to stopping at stoplights and intersections. And this is still being implemented, but basically I've taken all the stoplights and intersection locations. And currently I'm gonna work on adjusting the speed based on the distance elapsed and the initial velocity, and then now calculating that and adjusting the distance. But that's about it on my part. Next slide.
Hi, my name is Peter, and this is my first semester on Shuttle Tracker. So what is the purpose of the feedback form? Well, in Sean's words, it's to bridge the gap between the community and the Shuttle Tracker team. It'll let you share your ideas and weigh on what paths we should take throughout development. So far, I've written some clarifying documentation in the source code, made the feedback interface a bit more concise, and debugged the Postgres API for the feedback endpoints. So right now, some custom prompts can be set by the admin users in the admin panel, which will show up on the feedback page, which you can see on the right. And the page can be viewed on a bunch of different common screen sizes. In the next few weeks, I'll be updating the schemas just one last time to organize the feedback forms a bit more conveniently on the admin side and add some more functionality for developers to work and view the forms. So now we'll get a peek at Shuttle Tracker with Flutter on the next slide.
Cool. Hopefully you can all hear me. My name is Sam. This is my 4th semester working with RCOS and my 3rd semester working with Shuttle Tracker. During my time with Shuttle Tracker, I've been working solely with Flutter Shuttle Tracker. So it's a cross-platform mobile port of the main Shuttle Tracker website. It's built with Flutter, Dart, and we use the block library for state management. So far this semester, what we've done mostly is working on the UI and tweaking it, making sure it looks good, and cleaned up the UI for the routes page. We also used WebSockets to get the shuttle data. Previously, we were just polling the Shuttle Tracker API to get the shuttle data, but now we're actually using WebSockets, so it's in real time. As far as our goals for next semester, we really want to try to get it on the App Store and the Android Store, and that requires us working on a testing suite. And I think, Rithik, if you want to talk about the ETA panel.
Hello, my name is Rithik. I believe this is my 3rd semester of RCOS and Shuttle Tracker. But yeah, for most of the semester, I mainly worked on the ETA panel, which is actually a feature that we implemented over the summer. But it used to work with the old way of data retrieval, which is basically polling. So we had to update it for the WebSockets and basically overhaul the code with different data structures and blocks. In addition to that, I also worked on some general UI changes, help give certain parts of the app a rounder, cleaner appearance, and some padding and spacing changes for different, for example, some shuttle stops had like long names like Polytech Residence Commons, which wasn't aesthetically pleasing when it got cramped up. So yeah, a couple changes there. And on top of that, some general documentation and commenting to help any newcomers get a better understanding of which files interact with which and how the data flows between different parts of the app. And yeah, as far as the Flutter team goes, that's about it.
Awesome. Thank you to RCOS, the RCOS mentors, as well as Professor Turner and Professor Kuzman for providing us guidance when necessary, and these various other points that I have here. But yeah, that is the end of our presentation. Thank you guys for listening. And if you have any questions, we will take them now.
Any questions? So here's a quick one. Do you guys always sabotage Derek's microphone, or was this just?
Yes, actually, Derek always tends to talk too much, and so we always mute him in the Discord server. No, I'm just kidding. Derek's cool.
Yeah, I was just wondering whether he knew about it or whether this was, All right. So I think our last presentation is going to be by Nia. Nia, are you on, and are you going to present by yourself, or am I going to do it for you?
Oh yeah, I'm here. I dropped a link to the slides in the Discord.
Okay.
But I can present them, whatever works.
Either way seems to work. But if you're gonna present them, why don't you get set up? And while you're doing that, I'll ask another question. Unless somebody else has one. So you guys actually, I'm trying to think. You had a lot of students who have been there quite some time, so you didn't actually have as much of a problem with having to onboard other new students. But you've done that in previous semesters. I think both Sean and Derek have had that opportunity. Can you contrast kind of the difference? Are you comfortable both ways, or how do you keep your team? Considering how long it's been going on, how do you keep your team up and being efficient?
Yeah, so we usually have I think half of our team is returning students and half of our team is new people. And to make the process easier for newer students to come in, we obviously have our README and various pieces of documentation that help with installation. Because we're all in a Discord server, we have a channel dedicated to installation issues and various bugs. So if anyone needs help, they can ask for help there, and we will be there to provide assistance when necessary. But also with the way that our team is divided, we have 3 sub-teams this semester, and each of our sub-teams, aside from feedback form, has returning members as well as new members. So the returning members generally take a more leadership role. For example, on the smooth tracking team, Matt was more of a leader in that department, helping out the other 2 members who were unfamiliar with the smooth tracking stuff. But each semester, our sub-teams are kind of dynamic, and we change it up based on what everybody wants to work on. Since Shuttle Tracker is an application primarily for the students, we want to listen to our developers who are also students on what exactly they want to work on and what improvements they think should be made with the Shuttle Tracker. So that kind of allows for our students and our developers to be motivated to work on features because they're working on things they actually want to see in the tracker. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, and I do. By the way, I haven't seen anybody put that much effort into getting feedback. So I think that's kind of to some degree fits in with what you just said. Going and I kind of like the fact that you're reaching out to the community. I'm going to make a small suggestion there. It might be interesting to put a join RCOS button on there just to get people. Now, I'm kind of joking about that, but it's good that you guys are pulling in outside evaluation as well.
Yeah, we definitely enjoy hearing from people how much they either love or hate RCOS.
Yeah,
not just RCOS, but Shuttle Tracker.
Shuttle Tracker.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you very much. Nice job. I think our last one for today. We may have to work on our timing before next time because I think we've got about 15 minutes, and this is our 4th one, and we've got to do 5 most days. Nia is going to talk to us about Telescope.
Can you all see the slide?
I can. Can anybody else? Yeah, it looks like it's good.
Okay. All right. So I'm Nia. This is my 6th semester in RCOS and the 2nd semester of the existence of Telescope. If you care to contact me about Telescope or this presentation or anything else, here are my contacts. Telescope is the project. Well, So Telescope is, I think, the second or third attempt to replace Observatory, which is the project that runs the RCOS website. Observatory is currently unmaintained and also I think unused because we're currently using Venue and Submittee to track attendance and most of the other metrics and gradables we use for RCOS right now. So Telescope aims to replace Observatory, and we do reuse some of the code and assets from Observatory New, the most recent attempt to replace Observatory. So to that end, Telescope eventually should be the only website you need to attend and engage with RCOS. Members should be able to create and join projects, record meeting attendance, submit status updates, maybe even schedule bonus sessions. This should all be eventual. This is all in the vision of Telescope. We are hosted on GitHub under an MIT license. We use GitHub's issue tracker. We have a code of conduct from GitHub's that was based off of GitHub's contributor covenant. That's relatively new, and we don't get a whole lot of use out of it because I'm the only one working on this right now, but why not have a code of conduct? We also have recently added issue templates, so members, contributors, and just users can add issues of, there's pre-formatted templates that are either a bug request or feature request or, so on. So that's all very cool. So this is how we compare to GitHub's recommended community standards. Telescope uses a bunch of tech under the hood. It's written in Rust. We use the Actix framework. We have a Postgres database that is managed and accessed via the Diesel ORM. We expose two APIs. We have a REST API that is just for authentication, login, sign up stuff. And then we have a GraphQL API exposed via Juniper that's for more metrics and figuring out, who are the users and stuff like that. We render our front-end web pages on the server side using handlebars, and we make them very pretty using Bootstrap, and we make them interactive using jQuery. This semester, a significant amount of progress was made pretty much consistently across the project. I added GitHub Actions for continuous integration. I changed a variety of the parts of the project that interface directly with the command line. So we now take a different format of configuration file. We take command line arguments differently. We parse them differently. I added a database janitor to clean up expired records from the database once every, that should say 24 hours. I added issue templates as mentioned and their documentation. The database has also gotten larger to support attendance, user groups. The user registration system is completely new this semester. And that had a bunch of forms involved for signing up and verifying your email address. And so the common form fields that were used in that and password recovery and login have all been refactored into their own, separate files. I added support for database pagination, password recovery, an entire system to email users using the Letra library. I refactored parts of the navigation bar. I made icons. A whole lot was done this semester. There's still a few things left. This semester specifically, I intend to finish password recovery and the user settings page, and also definitely put in some work on the project and developers page. Don't know how far I'll get with those, but we'll see. I also hope to do a 0.1.0 release before the end of the semester. Then on to the next semester. All of the remaining features are listed in a GitHub issue. Some of the big ones are the attendance system and support for the joining and creating of projects. Those are very important features. And so those are things I intend to work on next semester when I work on Telescope full-time during my Archway semester as research. We have some screenshots. This is the landing page right here, which has zeros for all of the statistics because those aren't properly accessed yet, but it looks nice. We have user profiles here, also look very nice. And we have the emails that we're generating and sending to verify user account creation and password recovery and other stuff. So I think I went through that actually very fast, but thank you for your time, and I'm open to any questions. Hello?
I am sorry. I was talking, Nia, and I had some really great remarks. We'll see if I can reconstruct them, but I was muted. Anybody have any questions for Nia? So my question is about community building, and I know you've been doing this on your own, and you have some really good community standards there. We ended up, we've gone through a couple of iterations of observatory that haven't been deployed, and it turns out that what we've run into is that revamping observatory takes longer than a semester, and then we lose progress. Between semesters we lose progress, and then we get started up again, and we never quite make it to the end line. Have you given any thought into how you keep this so that we can keep it vital, live and active? Have you given it? I know you've been working on this. I think you and Patrick did it last semester, and now this semester it's kind of solo. But it would be good to bring people in.
Yeah, so Patrick and I worked on it last semester, and I've been, as you said, solo on it this semester. Community-wise, I'm definitely open to taking on people going forward. I was open to taking people on this semester, honestly, but it seemed like a lot of people were doing other things, and I also wanted to move very quickly, so, that's fine. But yes, I'm definitely, there are some things that I intend to do once the project is more stable that will definitely help in maintaining the project. Stuff like continuous testing. I have continuous integration already, but testing and continuous testing would definitely be helpful. And also writing more standardized documentation just across the project. It's generally pretty well documented, but Rust has a way to generate basically a documentation website from documentation comments in the code. And so that's definitely also something I intend to look into.
And that's kind of an interesting thing that I kind of like to bring out in what you said. You wanted to move fast, so you were working by yourself. And a lot of times in these projects, to set up the initial, to take it, one or two people, you and Patrick and you taking it from nothing to something is easier with a smaller group. And then you get to a point where you've got so many things going on that you need actually to start building it out. And, so both of those have a place. and finding that balance is sometimes kind of difficult in open source projects. You know, when does a project go from an open source boutique project that's one person to something that needs additional people in order to to keep all of the to keep all the balls in the air that you're juggling. So anyway, I think what you said was not incorrect. And then there are other times when you need lots of people just to keep it going. And you can see like on something like Shuttle Tracker, for example, you guys have a lot of different things going on. You have a lot of people, and you're able to make progress on all of them. But this is a different kind of stage of development. All right, I think we are at the end of our time, and we haven't done that a lot this semester. So are there any more questions for any of our teams?
It looks like Frank is asking why Rust. So, yeah, so there are a variety of reasons. One of which is that I personally like Rust quite a bit and am very familiar with it. So, it was nice that way. But also because the last attempt at revamping or rewriting Observatory was also in Rust. So that made it relatively easy to kind of port over some of the code and assets and other stuff from there because it was in the same language. And then also just because the language has a lot of features that are, kind of, I think the word is conducive to this use case. It's fast, it's reliable, it's generally safe. It's not very flashy, and it's not necessarily the most high level thing, but I don't need something like, TypeScript with all of its, Node and Yarn libraries, because this is not a front end heavy application. This is a website that interfaces with a database. Let's see. Are you planning on looking for developers to help out with Telescope in the future? Yes, definitely.
Cool. All right. I think that's it. I'm going to try to get this up, but this is now an hour and 35 minutes or something like that presentation. So it's going to take a little while. I've got to decide whether I want to chop it into parts or just upload it to YouTube. Right now, I'm leaning towards uploading it just because that'll save us all time. But this will all go up, and we will get everything on Venue as well. So thank you guys very much. Go forth and Thanksgiving, whatever your position is. I guess when we rejoin again, we're all going to be remote. Not that we will actually notice, but have a nice break and take some time off. Thank you all. Goodbye.